Hello, this is Yaakov Kronenberg from Jerusalem, and tonight we'll be doing another class on Leo ascendant and the sun in the different signs. Tonight we'll be talking about the sun in Capricorn, and this is a more difficult combination because again the sun here is in a sign that's not compatible with Leo. It falls also in a bad house. It'll fall in the 6th house, the house of misfortune, one of the houses of misfortune, the house of ill health, the house of servitude, the house of debt. It's a sort of a difficult house. So if you have the ruler there, you're going to be ended up involved in those problems. A lot of times I'll get a client, they'll have a lot of planets in the 6th house or the ruling planet there, so I'll tell them to go into medicine. If they're going to have to be around, working in hospitals or something like that, or it's better they work with the sick than instead of being sick, so you can turn the mazel around. I've done that with a number of people. I told them, look, they told me they weren't healthy, and you see their chart in the big 6th house. I told them, go into medicine. Right? Medicine, and you can sort of move some of that negative energy and use it in a positive way. But in any case, people who have that 6th house, ruler of the 6th house, they tend to gravitate towards areas of life where they serve people. Right? It's the house of servants. So a lot of times, that's why I say the classic example is doctors. The doctors are very honored people, but they're really servants. The nurses and doctors are serving people. That's their ideal aim, is to help people. So it's all people who help. They got the 6th house strong, and it's also the place of government service. A lot of people in the strong 6th house, they'll work for the government. I'll show you a number of examples as we go on of people that in the government that has very strong 6th house. Even any kind of government work. Teachers, a lot of teachers that work for the government, and a lot of different types of governmental service jobs. Even clerks and in government office buildings and all sorts of things like that. That they want to, because it's like helping the government is there to help you, supposedly, and so it's considered also a helping type of profession. But again, a person who has a ruler of 1 and 6, they can have some kind of, a lot of times they'll have like an inferiority complex, because when you have the ruler of the chart in 6th in the house of servitude, you feel like other people are better than you. I mean, if your mentality is to help people, then it could be because you consider yourself not up to on par with the other people, that you have to, help them, and you have to be their servant, so to speak. And so a lot of times you find people that got strong 6th houses, they can be a little bit lacking in that department of self-esteem. Even if you look at the chart of Adam or shown in mystical astrology, the 6th house is Virgo, and the secret enemy of Virgo is the 12th house, which is Leo. In other words, they're missing that conceit, that Leonian conceit that can get them in. They're missing that. They're very modest type of people, and they can't. It's hard for them to take over positions of leadership, of importance. They more see themselves as servants, and you see that from the example that the secret enemy of Virgo is really is the Leo type of personality. Right? They just don't have that, brigado of the Leo that can, stand up and say the world is mine. Everything was created for me. The Virgo is just not like that. The Virgo is a simple, modest, type of person that's cut out to help people, and it's different. Today we're going to do a chart actually of somebody who doesn't doesn't really fit all these rules that I've just been giving you. I guess we'll have to try to look a little bit why he's different, but I'm not sure. Well, see, he's going to also have a Leo rising, right? So it's going to be a complication because you have a Leo rising, but you have the Sun in Capricorn in the 6th house. So this guy became a very famous boxer, one of the most famous celebrity boxers. His name was Muhammad Ali. Right? He was, I guess he converted to Islam. I don't remember his birth name. But in any case, he converted to Islam at some point in his life, and he became the World Heavyweight Championship. He became a boxer. And so, see, on the one hand, you got that Sun in the 6th, but you have that Leo on the ascendant, so it was a struggle. To him, is he a servant or a leader? Is he important like a Leo, a king, or is he a secondary type of person, a server? And so that was probably important. Probably in his decision to become Muslim, is like to change who he was. But in any case, he suffered a lot physically, and as when you have the ruler in the 6th, a lot of times it can cause physical difficulties. And boxers, they tend to get hit in the head a lot, and over time it can cause serious brain damage, and he contracted at a fairly early age, if I remember, Parkinson's disease. And I don't know if he's still alive. I assume he's still alive, but he's, you don't hear from him much. I guess it's because he's not in good health and not in good mental health because of all the punishment he absorbed in his fighting. So you see that when you have the ruler of 1 in the 6th, it can cause some kind of suffering. And especially see in his chart that not only the ruler of 1 is in the 6th, but the ruler of the 6th, Saturn, is in the 10th, and it's tight conjunction Uranus. So it shows also the tendency to be hit a lot. Right? He has a very, very strong. What was exceptionally stands out in his chart was it was such a strong chart. And there was a lot of meanness in it. If you look at it, he was not a nice guy, really. People think he was a nice guy, but there's a tremendous amount of meanness in his chart, He had three very tough planets on the 10th house, all strong: Saturn, Mars, and Uranus. Right? He had a big drive to be successful, a lot of power. But he was very violent, right? You don't have a Saturn, Mars, Uranus conjunction on the 10th house without being violent. And he had Pluto there on the ascendant, the higher octave of Mars. So those are the players, four really bad, tough planets opposing his ascendant. He also had Venus there. Venus, Mercury, and the Moon also connected to the ascendant in the 7th house. So the Venus gave him, he was a good talker. Venus, he wrote, sort of poetry type of things, to mistreat his opponents. He was not only violent, but he was very put down. He put down all the people he fought. He would make up poems about them, how he was going to beat them up and destroy them, and how they were worthless, to get them, weakened before the fight. And he did that. He had, the Venus Mercury conjunction in the 7th house. And always, again, when the Venus is conjunct Mercury, some kind of artistic type of ability there in communicating, right? It made him a good communicator. But in the end, it didn't. You see, it's such a violent chart. The 3-4 planets very, very strong, connected to the ascendant. The Sun being in Capricorn is connected to that Saturn in the 10th house. And so it's a very, very violent type of man. How he got, and that I guess is what led him in very strong and violent. And he wanted to become very successful. The Leo ascendant, Capricorn, Sun in Capricorn, together with the Leo ascendant, gives you a very strong drive for success. And so he saw that his way to get success was through fighting, and that's what he did, and he was very successful at it. And I thank everybody for listening.